This video, it focuses on solving more division word problems. Being sure to use an illustration, whether it's a quick sketch or a bar graph or something else, to help you solve that problem. Let's look at the first problem. David has 1,354.5 kilograms of potatoes to deliver in equal amounts to 18 stores. 12 of those stores are in town. How many kilograms of potatoes will be delivered in town? Remember that there are different ways to solve this problem. I'm going to show you my way. You might solve it a little bit differently. When I start, I'm going to draw this graph. I know that I have this many kilograms of potatoes, and I'm going to deliver it to 18 stores. And I'm going to add dashes in here, because remember, these are other stores that I'm not drawing at the time. Okay? By looking at this, I know that I'm going to need to divide 1,354.5 kilograms by 18. Okay, and I'm going to remember to bring up my decimal right away. Okay, I know that 18 does not go into 1, it does not go into 13, and it does go into 135. And I'm going to estimate and say that 18 rounds to 20, and 135 rounds to 140. 20 goes into 140 about 7 times. Okay, then I'll do 18 times 7, which gets me 126. Okay, bring down my numbers. I have 9, bring down the 4. Okay, again, I'm going to estimate. 18 goes into 94 about 5 times, using 20 as an estimate and 100. Okay, 18 times 5 is 90. Okay, and I'm going to need to slide this up. Okay, I'll move that out of the way so you can still see it. Okay, 18 into 45 goes twice, which is 36. I did that in my head. Okay, which leaves me with 9, and I have 0 hundredths, so I'm adding a 0 and bringing it down. So I have 90, and I already did my work for that over on the other side. So I know that it's 5. 90 minus 90 is 0. So I have 75 pounds and 25 hundredths of a pound going to one store. Okay, because I divided this by 18. I still need to find out how many kilograms are going to the 12 stores. So I'm going to slide this to the side. Then I'm going to multiply. If it's 75 and 25 hundredths in one store, then I must multiply that by 12 to find all 12 stores. And when I multiply that together, I find that I have 903 kilograms going to 12 stores in town. Let's look at another problem. Christine uses 12 ounces of detergent for her laundry. If there's 75 ounces of detergent in the bottle, in how many weeks will she need a new bottle for detergent? I'm going to draw this similarly, where I have my line, and I'm going to have 75 ounces. Okay, and I know that one load is 12 ounces. And this is one load. Okay, and I need to see how many loads I can get, if they're all 12 ounces. Okay, so again, I know, looking at this, that I'm going to need to divide, and that we've been talking about that in all of our lessons. So, 75 ounces. I'm assuming I'm going to need my decimal, so I'm going to add that in right away, divided by 12. Okay, 12 goes into 75 6 times, which gives me 72. Okay, 75 minus 72 is 3. 0/10, bring down the 0 into 30. That goes twice. Okay, 12 times 2 is 24, which gives me 6. Bring down a 0 because I have 0/100ths. 12 goes into 60 5 times. So I have 6 and 25/100ths. Now looking back at the question, it says, in how many weeks will she need a new bottle of detergent? Okay, I have 6 and 25/100ths of a week. And looking at this, I'm going to say that in 6 weeks, she will need the new detergent because she won't be able to make it to that 7th week without the detergent, even though we have 25/100ths of bottle left. That's where we need to read the question carefully. It's not asking me for my quotient, it's asking in how many weeks. Okay? Again, pay attention to what it's asking. Let's look at another question. Okay? The area of a rectangle is 56 meters and 96/100ths of a meter. If the length is 16 meters, what is its perimeter? And we've done quite a few problems like this, okay, already. Remember, the first thing we need to do is write our formula. Area equals length times width. Okay, and we have our area, which is 56 and 96 meters squared. Okay, which is the same as 16 meters times the width. And remember, I want to get that width by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 16 meters. Okay, and I know now I need to solve 56 and 96/100ths divided by 16. Okay, 16, estimating, rounding 16 to 20 and 56 to 60 goes in about 3 times. Okay, 16 times 3 is 48. And I'm going to add that decimal right away. 8, bring down the 9. 16 into 89, we'll say that goes 4 times. I don't know that off the top of my head. 64, I can fit another 16 in, which gives me 80. So I'm going to do it out of 5 because I have 4 plus 1, which is 5, which is 80. 89 minus 80 is 9. Bring down the 6. 96. 16 times 6 goes into 96 because I have 16 times 4, 16 times 5, and then I'm going to do another 16, which is 96. So that I know the width of this rectangle is 3 and 56/100ths of a meter. Sorry for the funny colors there. Okay, let's try one last problem. A city block is 3 times as long as it is wide. If the total distance around the block is 48/100ths of a kilometer, what is the area of the block in square meters? First thing I'm going to do to make it easier for myself is I'm going to say that 48/100ths of a kilometer is equal to how many meters? Okay, I can do that in my head. I know that it is 480 meters, and I'm going to put that aside because I don't need it yet, but I will need to remember that. Okay, so looking at the length, we're saying that it is 3 times, and I'm going to draw 3 squares for that, or rectangles, for its width. Okay, and we're assuming that this block is in a rectangle shape. Okay, so I know that I'm going to need to double everything, because if I have my length here and my width here, I need to include all 4 sides. So I'm going to have 2 sides for the length and 2 sides for the width. Okay, so I'm going to have 6 blocks or rectangles for the length and 2 blocks for the width. Okay, remember 3 times the length is 3 times the width. So if I have 2 blocks or 2 cubes, 2 rectangles for the width, 3 times 3 is 6. So I have a total of 8 units, rectangles, whatever term you'd like to use. Okay, and I'm going to put that to the side. I know that the total distance is 480 meters. So I'm going to use that and divide 480 meters by 8. And I got the 8 from my 8 cubes, or rectangles here. Okay? Remembering my basic facts, 8 times 6 is 48, which is 0. Bring down the 0. 8 goes into 0 times. So I know that one of those blocks is 60 meters. What I then need to do is determine the length and the width of this block. Okay, looking back at the illustration that I have, I said that the width is 1 of these and the length of one side is 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that each cube is equal to 60 meters. Okay, my length is 3 cubes, so I'm going to do 60 times 3 for my length, which is 180 meters. Oops, 180 meters, and that's my length. And 60 times 1, which is equal to 60 meters, for my width. And then to find out the area, remember that area is equal to length times width. So I will then multiply 180, which is my length, times 60, which is my width, and gives me 10,800 meters squared. Okay? And that gives me the total area of the city block. Remember, area and perimeter are different units. The perimeter is going to be meters, the area is going to be meters squared, and I could convert this into kilometers, but the question asks in square meters.